It's time for the Fantasy Grill. This week, we're going to talk about some waiver pickups. We're going to do some stardom sit-ems. And as always, we'll remind you to send your questions to Anthony K at sportsfluent.com. That's sports_fluent, IG, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget to give us a follow. All right, this week, my starter, as you can see, the helmet right there, and this has nothing to do with a homer pick, is Justin Fields at the quarterback position. Start him with confidence, as he has been playing tremendous football as of late. The Bears have kind of opened up the playbook, a lot of RPOs. Don't expect 178 yards rushing again like we got last week, breaking the record for a quarterback. But he threw for 3 touchdowns. I think you're going to see similar type of game in the sense that he rushes for 50 to 75 yards, maybe 1 or 2 on the ground, a couple in the air against that Detroit Lions defense. You got a good game coming from Justin Fields. I'll give you a bonus. Tua versus Miami Dolphins. Tua heading in and facing the Cleveland Browns. Tua is another one against a Browns secondary that is going to give him a lot of points and a lot of opportunities. I like what they're doing. Obviously, when they have weapons like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, he is a surefire bet this week in the NFL. I'm going to give you 2 sits. Well, my first sit might be a little bit surprising because typically I only sit Kirk Cousins when he plays in prime time. But I think the Bills, especially with either a hurt Josh Allen or a missing Josh Allen, will really look to slow down the pace of this game. The Bills still have a very good defense. So look for Kirk Cousins to have a bit of an off game this week. He's also on the road, only averaging 13.7 fantasy points. So unless you have to play him, again, look for a sit. The other one is very difficult. I'm going to give you a 2-fer on this one because, you know what? I'm going to give you a 3-fer on this one. 2 great Hall of Fame quarterbacks, 1 defending Super Bowl champion. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford versus the Seattle Seahawks, the Dallas Cowboys, the Arizona Cardinals, respectively, are all sits. The NFL is changing. It is the changing of the guard, as it were, in the NFL. These pocket passers, Rodgers was a little bit mobile, but these pocket passers, these older quarterbacks are having a heck of a time, and the new blood is starting to take over. All right, we're going to go to the running back position. Haven't said his name in a while as a start. I think Jonathan Taylor gets back to the Jonathan Taylor we were expecting to get this season against the Raiders this week. Give him a start. I really do like Jamal Williams versus the Chicago Bears. Any running back playing against the Chicago Bears, they give up the most rushing yards per game of any team in the NFL. Right now, I believe they are 30 yards more per game they're giving up than any other team in the NFL. So whether it's whoever, if you got DeAndre Swift, if he's playing Jamal, any running back versus the Bears any week right now is worth a play. The one that really hurts me to say the sit of the week, and we got 2. One is the one that hurts me the most because I thought he was going to have a much better season, seeing as they didn't really have a quarterback coming into the season that I was comfortable with. And he had a really good year last year. Najee Harris, the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you got to sit him this week versus New Orleans. I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, but Najee Harris is not getting it done in terms of, in real football or on the fantasy side. The other one, I drafted him, got to make a trade, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's more to do with the fact that he's now sharing with Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, and Patrick Mahomes is running the ball more. And they're a passing offense. So there's just so many things working against Helaire. So you got to sit him. This week. Last, but definitely not least, my favorite position, the wide receiver position. My start is my guy on every one of my teams, A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles. I told you if you watched Crunching the Numbers that he's going to have a huge game against the Commanders, or that the Eagles are going to have a huge game. Look for A.J. Brown to be on that side. The next one I would give you is Another one of my favorites, Chris Olave of the New Orleans Saints. Look for him to have a big game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go ahead and start him. If you got to sit someone, here's a couple that you want to sit. So you want to sit Michael Pittman versus the Raiders. More to do with they're still starting Sam Ehlinger, and so I don't know what's gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I think they're gonna be a very run heavy, defensive oriented team, and so I'm gonna say Michael Pittman. Give him a sit, and I mentioned the quarterback position, Kirk Cousins against Buffalo, who's going to slow down the game, play tough defense. That also means they're number 2/3, depending on where you put Adam Thielen. I think he's number 2 next to Jefferson. Adam Thielen is going to be a sit for you as well. All right, that's it for this week for the Fantasy Grill. A couple of things, actually, for those that are looking at waiver wire pickups, before I let you go, remember you can reach out with your questions, trade requests, waivers, etc. You can reach me at anthonyk@sportsfluent.com or sports_fluent, IG, Twitter, and TikTok. So for those on the waiver wire, if you're kind of scrolling through, if you're streaming quarterbacks, take a look, see if Justin Fields is still available. He's still available in some leagues, if you can believe it. If you have to have someone that is most likely available, look for Marcus Mariota. He can get you some yards in the air and on the ground. And don't be afraid from a trade perspective to make a run at Derek Carr. I know, but I think Derek Carr, look, if you need someone, again, if you're in desperate need, those are some guys that you should look at. At the running back position, most people have jumped on the Jason Williams, the Wilson, now of the Miami Dolphins train. He's probably not available. Another one you might want to look at is Jay Warren of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's an electric running back that I think what's going to happen is the Steelers realize they're just not going to win a lot of games. Like I said, he's electric. They're going to give him some opportunities to show what he can do. So give Jay Warren a check. In fact, you don't even know. I'm picking him up right now as we speak. That's Jaylen Warren. Wide receiver, as I always like to end with, if you didn't watch the show last week, with the Fantasy Grill, we had the Fantasy Gods on, and they told you about Terrence Marshall of the Carolina Panthers. So if you didn't go and pick him up last week, he's still available in your league. Go pick him up. I told you about Palmer, hopefully, of the Chargers, because there really isn't any other receivers there right now. So hopefully you went and picked him up. Another kind of sneaky play, if you want to make a playoff run, take a look at Odell Beckham Jr. He's got some upside. He's going to go to a contending team. He's going to go to a team where he can be either the number 1 or number 2 receiver. And I think he's still got some legs left. So take a look at Odell Beckham Jr. And now we're saying goodbye for the Fantasy Grill. I'm Anthony K. Now you're more fluent.